Ashley and Katie here for this week's edition of the Clemson Insiders Monday Blitz. Clemson had a huge must-win win in Raleigh, North Carolina this past weekend, winning 38-31 against the NC State Wolfpack, claiming number one place in the ACC Atlantic Division. So it was a huge win for Clemson. But throughout the game, NC State's star defensive end had 8 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss, no sacks, but he did have 3 towel steals. So let's talk a little bit about that. Kelly Bryant was not too happy about that, obviously. You could tell his frustration during the game. And the first time was pretty funny, but what did you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, one time, okay, that's funny, great. But to do it over and over again, that's not funny anymore. That's immature, and that's honestly taunting him. And so he never even got a penalty for it. I think after the 3rd time or so, the ref came over and talked to him, kind of warned him. But no, he never got a penalty for that. And Kelly said earlier today that as it was going on, Chubb was saying to him, oh, I'm going to be here all night. And Kelly said, well, great, because I'm going to be here all night too. So yes, as annoying as it was, Kelly was the one who got the last laugh with that.
Well, and after 9 games of this regular season, Clemson is 8-1, but Clelin Ferrell got really sentimental about just how fast this season is going and how, his time at Clemson is coming to an end. Obviously, he plans on graduating next December, so hopefully we will still see him next year. But he talked about appreciate and that word, and Coach Sweeney has instilled that throughout the season. So what do you have to say about that? What did Clelin Ferrell really talk about?
Yeah, when he was asked about, Clemson's approaching their final 2 regular season home games of this season, he was like, wow, that really hasn't dawned on me yet. And that's kind of when he got into Coach Sweeney's word, appreciate, and how you just have to appreciate the moments, because there will never be another time when, he's having these moments with the exact same group of guys that he is now. And then he also used it to talk about the national championship last year and how, winning the national championship wasn't the biggest thing. The biggest thing was the journey to get there, the journey and the struggles and everything that they went through. So yeah, he really, really did get sentimental, like you said, really appreciative of his time here. But he's not, looking forward yet. He still wants to take what is in front of him and soak it up for as long as he can.
And one of those last 2 home games is against Florida State this weekend at 3:30 in Death Valley. And this game was expected to be the biggest game of Clemson's season, expected to be a college game day atmosphere, but FSU is 3-5 on the season overall, not having the best performance since losing Francois in the very first game against Alabama. They've been spiraling pretty much downward since then, but you can't take them for granted, just like you can't take any team in the ACC for granted. So who are the players that Clemson should be looking out for?
Yeah, so, like you said, yes, they're not having the season that they were expected to, but they still have talent that Clemson can't take lightly. For example, they have Tarvaris McFadden and Derwin James who are coming back, and they are both very high potential NFL draft picks after this season. Then you also have Josh Sweat and Brian Burns, who are very athletic defensive linemen. And then they even have some, 6'4", 230-pound linebackers. So, yeah, like you said, they're a very tough physical team, and certainly something that Clemson should not overlook despite the season they're having. And I'm sure Clemson will not do that.
Yep, and this is going to be the biggest game of the season for FSU, especially since they're trying to stay or make it to be bowl eligible. So keep it up with the Clemson Insider the rest of this week.